Hey to all the people on YouTube, this is my very first video of my retro games console, and I hope to do more in the future. This, as you can see, looks like an original Xbox, apart from obviously this, but I've basically got a Raspberry Pi in there running Retropie, so you can play all the old classic games. I've kept it as original as possible, so I've kept the original Xbox controller ports, which are effectively proprietary USB. The only thing I have changed is the power button. And on the back, I've retained the original power socket, and I've added HDMI. That is the micro SD adapter, so I don't have to open the console every time I want to get it out. And then that is Ethernet for the internet. Let's see how it all ticks on the inside. Hang on a second. Now what we have in here is an original 360 slim power supply. I've taken the IEC port out and I've soldered that straight on to the back of the figure of 8 pin. These controller ports are just the original Xbox controller ports, which are essentially USB, so it's a case of just unsoldering the old proprietary connector and soldering on USB cables. And what I've done is I've also got everything on Molex as well. So you've got 5 volts and 12 volts coming out of here. They come into this Molex connection here, so you can plug a variety of things in. Originally I was going to put a DVD drive in here, but I decided that there was no point. However, you will notice that I've got a micro USB cable here. Now that was on 5 volts straight from that, but that was only giving 1 amp and it was upsetting the Pi. The Pi kept freezing and that when I was running certain emulators. So I put in this DC to DC converter, which converts the 12 volt side, which is 16 amps, and converts it down to 5 volts, 3 amps max. And what was nice is this came from Amazon, and on Amazon that was about £5. The voltage comes in at between 8 and 50 volts, and then 5 volt out, 3 amps. What's good about that is it actually came with the micro USB connector soldered on all together, and I've had no problems since with my Pi being overclocked and running perfectly. But I've kept that in there because it was just such a nightmare just to undo all of this lot, but who knows, there may be a future use for that. We've also got some LEDs in here just to make it light up at night. I've kept the original Xbox fan, which is rated at 6 volts, but I've got it running at 12, so it runs a little bit noisier, but the Pi keeps nice and cool because we've got a fan on here as well. So if you let me know in the comments down below what you think and what you think I should improve on, that would be much appreciated. And now let's see it in action. I'm just going to pause this video while I plug it all in. Right, that's all plugged in. Now you're probably wondering, how do I plug other controllers into this that are non-Xbox controllers? Well, for instance, I have this NES Super Nintendo Classic controller, which has got a normal USB. I then have these adapters, which are USB to Xbox controller, and you can plug in keyboards, any controller you like, so you can get around it with that. So you can plug a variety of controllers into this. Let's boot it up and have a look. While it's booting, just pick the controller up. Sorry if the quality's poor, I'm doing this on my phone. So we've got Game Boy, Game Boy Advanced, Mega Drive, Nintendo 64, NES, MS-DOS, ports, PlayStation 1. So yeah, there's a variety of emulators there. So if we have a look at Super Nintendo per se, we've got a variety of games on here. So if we just try one like Donkey Kong, for instance. Now obviously it's going to be quite difficult to do this one-handed, but we'll have a go. Definitely very difficult with one hand. Yeah, I'm gonna die. You can also save and load games as you go along as well. Even games that you wouldn't have been able to save on the original console. And now to get out of this, we just press start and select together. And that will take us back to the game screen, where we can either choose another Nintendo game or we can try a different emulator. So why don't we have a look at Mega Drive, for instance. Everyone loves a bit of Sonic. Actually, I think the colours and everything look really good. So that's Sonic. So if we come out of that, let's have a look at Nintendo 64. Oh. Silly me, pushed the wrong button. Let's have a look at Mario Kart. Now this does take a while to start up because of custom settings. But it does run lag-free even in multiplayer. You get the odd sound jutter, but the speed doesn't slow down. And for Raspberry Pi 2, that's not too bad. The nice thing with this setup is it's dead easy just to drop a Raspberry Pi 3 or 4 or whatever comes out in the future, so it's fully upgradable. I would like to do another one, but this time I'd like to video it doing a step-by-step guide on how to do it. Right from the building of the console to loading Retropie.
Welcome to Mario Kart.
That's a bit loud. That's the only problem is some of the games are louder than others. I'm always a Yoshi man myself. Now I've only tried this with 2 players, I haven't tried this with 4 yet. But it seems to work absolutely fine on 2 players. I will eventually invest in a proper camera with a tripod, so we don't have to have the juttering, so I do apologise for that. As you can see, that runs absolutely perfectly. Sound is okay and good. This is running Retropie 4.1.0, I think, which is the latest one. I have had problems with this on the previous Retropies, but I think they seem to have optimised the emulators a bit better now. So that's that one. We exit. My next build will probably be, I've got an old N64 and I've got a spare Raspberry Pi, so my next project is going to be building an N64, well, a Raspberry Pi into an N64 housing, keeping the original controller ports, and I'll upload that video as well with a step-by-step guide. So if we have a look, Dreamcast isn't brilliant, some of the games work, but I haven't yet sort of played with the controllers because the controllers need some messing about with in the configs, which I haven't looked at yet. But Game Boy games work really well. So if we have a look at that, they also span the full screen as well. So you can play the old classics, and I have to say, nothing beats Tetris. Hours back in the day on the original Game Boy playing this, in the early 90s. So you can see that works okay. I will just show you PlayStation quickly. I'm in the middle of working my way through the old Tomb Raider games, and I have to say, absolutely brilliant. I remember struggling for months trying to complete them back in the day because they were so big, and games for their time was very good. So if we load up, let's load up Tomb Raider 1 and press the wrong button. That's the game actually loads quicker than it did on the PlayStation. Video cinematics are smooth. I've had no lag, no freezes, even after playing for hours. As I say that and it freezes. Marvellous. If we just load into the game. That all works well. It's a bit pixelated, so I think I need to enable sort of smoothing on that. But on the whole, the overall system is very good. Thoroughly enjoyed using it. My children and my partner and I have had great fun playing all the old classics. Not doing very well at this with one hand. And there we are. That's all we have time for this episode. But if you'd like to leave your comments and suggestions down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video.